winter. Again. A happy Tuesday, everyone. I am the lovely and talented Quentin Rockwell, and this is my adoring and beautiful wife,
Kat Rockwell.
There you go. This is QAQK. What?
Nothing. I'm just posing.
Oh.
I do that sometimes.
Yes, the great Texas blizzard of 2018. You'll remember where you were.
Y'all doing okay? Y'all have power? Everyone breathing? You glad you went to the grocery store? For...
You know, it's funny. We were joking earlier today about how our fourth grader, when she's an adult, it's like, oh, I don't really remember much of fourth grade. It's like, well, all right, you're missing 2 days for this.
Yeah.
So today and tomorrow for this great blizzard.
Yeah.
And then how long did they delay school?
They're over a week for Harvey.
Yeah,
so yeah, we're gonna be like, yeah, you don't remember it because
and then pretty much all the
you
other
never went to the fourth grade.
I know, right? And then all the other standard I guess the standard vacation
Babe,
days.
you're never gonna make it into college. Sorry.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's just kind of. I think she missed one day for actually being sick. Has she missed one day? I think she missed one day for actually being sick. But
we're just done.
You don't need to go and miss any other days because chances are school's going to be canceled. Anyway.
All right.
Anywho, I hope things are going well for you guys. And anyway, what we were wanting to talk about tonight was what else should you look at besides pictures when you're looking for a house. So there's a lot of different things. And obviously most people realize that not necessarily that the pictures, they don't necessarily lie. Sometimes people are, but these gloves are getting too hot.
Yeah, I'm already too hot. Had to go.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, obviously not all pictures lie, but some of them, it can be slightly deceiving. Not that they're intending them for them to be deceiving. It's just there's things that you see with your own eyes when you show up. So it's just not. I mean, because obviously in photos, it's like you walk in. Why is there dish soap by the sink? It's like, well, you take those out for photos. You don't want those in your pictures. But we just kind of want to talk about it.
But the pictures are fun, and so that's sometimes what we just stop looking at because they're fun to look at. And, I fall in love with this house looking at the pictures. But there's so much more that you can go ahead and view online.
Yes, there's more.
Before you have to go see the house and realize, I really don't like this house.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight was just more than pictures to look at, even online before you even show up. So you can kind of do some homework before you even walk through somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess what would you say first one?
The first thing I love to do is to look at the street view. And so whether it's pretty much all connected to Google Maps because I think Google's the only one who runs around and takes pictures of people's homes.
I do sometimes.
True. He just doesn't have it for every home available in America. So
Not yet.
Not yet. But even if you look on the street view on HAR, it's just linked through Google Maps. So, but look at the street view. So you can look at the pictures of a home and it can look amazing, especially if it's been renovated. But if you go look at the street view, you'll see, okay, what does the street look like? If I put my little person at the entrance of the neighborhood and then I virtually drive through the neighborhood to that house, am I going to be happy with what that looks like? So that's one of the first things I would do is to look at the street view to see what the neighborhood looks like. And if I can, then actually drive through the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's get Leo's question. Why are some homes posted without any pictures and the post state not to bother the resident? That's not the best way to sell your house. Is that pre-foreclosure? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's don't bother the resident because they're tenants. The house is being rented and they, for whatever reason, don't want to get into the showing of things. Sometimes they do that in pre-foreclosure, or they're during a foreclosure.
Foreclosure? I'm sorry.
Whatever, liberty.
It spoke to my heart.
I bet it did.
I'm going to go put some of them foreclosures on because it's cold outside.
Anyway, but yeah, sometimes that is like a foreclosure process type of thing. Those are actually the owners that are being foreclosed on, and the bank is or in the process of taking ownership of the house or the property, and it might make things a little difficult, and or they just don't want to show it, for whatever reason. It's not necessarily it won't necessarily hurt a house sale. It just depends. There's a lot of things that go into that, and then sometimes when there is no picture, sometimes the owners don't want, or the sellers don't want to post pictures online. Sometimes they do, or sometimes it's just as simple as the pictures haven't been uploaded yet. Like maybe they hired a photographer and that photographer hasn't uploaded them yet, or like an outside source. So there's a whole list of reasons why. It just really depends on each house.
Right. But I mean, I agree. Yes, you're less likely to get viewers and you're less likely to get showings because, why do I want to go see this house? I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And most of the time it is because maybe they are seeking investors to purchase the home. They want cash, and people will buy the house cash without looking on the inside first.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes. And there's some things, like especially like in auctions and things like that. It's you buy this house sight unseen. You can maybe hopefully drive by it, but you can't do anything.
Like what's that show, like Storage Wars or whatever, where you buy the storage
Pretty
container.
much.
It's like that.
Yeah.
You don't know what's inside, but hey, I just bought it.
And that's why it's typically better for investors. And there's other things. I mean, that's a very long list of things that can be spoken about at another time. But
what's one thing that you would look at?
Okay, well, I guess let's get back to the what else would I look at, or should you look at? I would go with drive times, traffic times, and there's like HAR. There's there's a feature that they have on your search that you can look up drive patterns. Can you?
Yeah, I'll post a link to it.
She'll post a link to it. The HAR. She'll post a link to the HAR, and it's really kind of handy because you can actually limit search items and search areas by putting that as one of your criteria. That, and then also Google also has a typical drive time feature. If you didn't know, if you're needing to, so if you're needing to look at like a particular drive time from point A to point B, Google has that. You can put in whatever times. Yeah,
especially like the Harwin is great for, I want to live no more than 20 minutes from work. And I have to be at work at 8 a.m. Well, they will tell you that based on typical drive times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's not just, I mean, I know they use partially Google, but they use, there was a company, I forget the name of the company.
No. Okay.
There's another company that actually has been that feeds information to Google and other big data companies because they actually have been doing this for years, just monitoring traffic and just looking at just different things. So I would look at drive times and basic traffic patterns in general.
And this is a good idea because one of the things I do, well, I mean, we both do, but I do specifically with some companies, is to help them relocate employees from out of town. So if you've never been to Houston, looking at a map, you don't think about how big it is.
Yeah.
And you don't think, oh, well, I mean, for example, I lived 9 miles away from my last workplace. Well, that was also 9 miles down 290, so it took me 30 to 45 minutes to get to work. So, if you're new to Houston area, you're not thinking that. We're all thinking that here in the Houston area because, it's crazy. But that's a great tool because some people are mapular challenged.
They are definitely mapular challenged. Matter of fact, I was working with some people that were trying to relocate to Houston from Seattle, and they wanted to look at these houses from everywhere if you're in the Houston area, you know the massive scale this is. They wanted to look at houses in Spring, the Woodlands, Tomball, Cypress, Katy, Sugar Land, and then Texas City.
Yeah.
They wanted to look at all that, and they had a day, maybe 2 days max.
Yeah.
And I was trying to ask them, I was asking them, it's like, well, how far do you need to live? Oh, well, maybe 30 minutes, away from so-and-so. It's like, well, that's not going to work. And one, and two, we're not going to be able to cover all of these areas within a day to look at houses. So, all that to say, and then I guess, Lorenzo, we will be discussing Scott, but this Scott, I don't know, he's somebody...
Scott joined us tonight, but we're going to get there. And maybe Scott can join in on the conversation and give us some insight.
Well, I would like to know why it fizzled out. Were the hugs not enough? But we'll get back to that, to Scott Evil later.
Okay.
Okay. So what's something that you
Okay. So another thing you need to look at, besides the pictures on the listing, are crime reports. Know your crime reports. And this is the big thing. And I'm going to let you know. No. Again, especially to people coming from out of town, not familiar with parts of Houston, or even if you're wanting to move to a different area of Houston that you're not familiar with, look at the crime reports, okay? Note, crime's everywhere. There's going to be reports in every neighborhood, okay?
Yes.
But you can tell if you go to crimereports.com, I'll post another link on there, but you can see where the clusters are at, and you want to avoid a cluster. So, that's what I would look at.
Depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And like she said, crime is everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's always something, whether it's, anything, something minor to a mass murder. There's something.
I don't think they signify the different kinds of murder. Whether it's a mass murder or a single murder.
Crime scene.
Crime scene.
Murder, whatever.
We digress.
Yeah. Anywho, one of the other things, we'll get back to our list and not the rabbit trail. One of the things that I tend to look at, and you do too, the nerdiness in you comes out, is to look at tax assessed value and HOAs. And there's HOAs, they can vary. They can be from a voluntary HOA of $60, like one of them that we know of, to $1,100 mandatory.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that much for that $1,100 bucks.
I would say on average, your standard suburban subdivision, you're looking at about an average to $500 to $600 a year. Average. And that's probably your typical neighborhood that has amenities, the playgrounds, the pools, things like that, sidewalks, light posts, trash pickup.
Stuff like that.
Those are all things that your HOA takes care of.
And we were asked another question, Leo, asking, are HOAs, was it HOAs worth it? Is that what he asked?
Yeah. Are they good or bad?
It depends on when you ask me, to be honest. To be completely honest, it depends on when you ask me. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they do their job. Sometimes they really do help the community that neighborhood. Sometimes it's a giant freaking waste. It's a waste of time, effort, paper, and money. It really depends. I would say it depends on the HOA, depends on the neighborhood, depends, and then once you even get that, it depends on who's on the HOA board. So,
in my opinion,
go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, if you had to choose one or the other, good or bad, what would you pick? HOA is good. HOA is bad.
I'm neutral. I really. It's.
Thanks, Switzerland.
Hey, we have the gold. We have the stuff left over from the Crusades. But no, it's HOAs. It really just depends because there's maybe kind of lean kind of to the good, but it really just depends because I mean and obviously there's always the little busybody, the nosy person on a power trip that seems to stereotypically be on the HOA.
They're out there with a ruler measuring your grass.
Yes, you have those sometimes, but I'd say overall, I don't think the majority of the people on an HOA board are evil, conniving busybodies. I think they really are actively trying to maintain the value of the neighborhood, to maintain your property values, and to make things look nice, to make things maybe be safer by hiring police or constables or sheriffs, some sort of law enforcement or some sort of security. So I'd say, I guess I would lean to the positive, but it depends on your HOA, and then again, like with everything, even government, you can just sit there and complain, or you can actually get involved and try and do something and maybe make a change.
Yeah.
Not that you will, but hopefully you can. And anyway,
my opinion here is that you are seeing the effect of and bigger division between your normal priced HOAs, reasonably priced HOAs, and then your bigger master plan communities. And sometimes not even that. Sometimes you see maybe a smaller community that really doesn't offer that many benefits, and they're $900 a year. And so I think situations like that, they're going to have to adjust, especially as our market begins to adjust. And when we get to a period where we don't have as much as a housing shortage, when we switch to a bigger buyer's market, I think you'll see fluctuations in those HOA prices being adjusted because, or you'll see sellers offering to pay for your first few years of HOA fees.
Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah.
My kind of take on HOA is just like with taxes. Once you give a little, they're going to maintain it, and they're going to keep trying to increase the taxes, whether it's for actual literal, they just want more money. 1, 2, they may need more money to exist. I just kind of think, just like HOAs, just like taxes. Look at the the income tax, how it got started and how it got to the big, horrible, massive thing that it is. I just kind of think, I don't know if they'll necessarily go down, but hopefully, I hope it's one of those things.
Maybe they'll slow down.
Yeah,
their
I could see that.
Expenses will slow down significantly.
Because they're making home ownership difficult, and that's and I guess that kind of is also kind of one of the part about that tax assessed value. Can you?
Another link coming up, guys.
I was gonna say, okay, she's gonna put a link up. There's a video that.
Oh, I'm putting it to an article. Sorry.
Oh, put her up to the article.
Cool.
There's an article she's posting, or if you don't want to read, or you don't like to read, or you don't necessarily know how to read, there's a video that Bob Soika, he posted on my page, where it's a press conference with Governor Abbott, Governor of Texas, talking about Texas and just some of the things they're trying to do to cap property taxes, just to kind of to help home ownership, to help homeowners.
Yeah.
And they're bringing up like legit things where people are being priced out of their homes. I mean, we know some people that their tax assessment keeps going up. Like, was it minimum 10%?
10% is the maximum that they can increase it. Your 10% of your assessed value can increase every year, and so when your tax rate isn't changing, but your value's going up. So therefore, we do want values to go up. Yeah, but it has to be realistic. Is your home value actually increasing that much? Is your market value actually increasing that much year over year, or are you overpaying in taxes? So it's usually there has been a pretty significant gap between market value and tax assessed value, and lately we've been seeing that gap sort of close up a little. So we want those numbers to be a little lower because you don't want to be overpaying taxes. So if this plan goes through, and it's a lot. I mean, he just announced a plan today. It's like a few years off, actually. I think like 2019.
It's like a year.
If it got passed in legislation.
Yeah, it's got to go through all the legislature.
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo.
But it would cap your local authorities to a 2.5% overall revenue, year over year. So that's good news.
They were trying to do something, if not exactly that. I can't remember the exact details. I've worked a lot of numbers since then. But last year on the taxes, they were trying to do that, but just some political people, just a bunch of political games back and forth, kind of got it shut down.
Yeah. But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That tax value impacts your monthly payment so much. And so when your assessed value is being increased consistently, or your tax rate's being increased consistently, that sort of kills you, you got a fixed rate mortgage, but your taxes or your HOAs, those have so much more weight on your monthly payment because it's only being divided out between 12 months, not 30 years. So I would start emailing, writing letters, talk to your state congressman, and Governor Abbott, and anybody you can get a hold of.
I've ran into a couple of the local reps here locally at restaurants. Just, hey.
Tom Oliverson.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He was actually one of the people trying to get this property tax reform. He's actually a proponent. So at least we have somebody. But.
And honestly, if you don't know who your representatives are,
find out.
I was going to say, give us a call. We'll find out for you. I mean, you could probably ask Google too, but give us a call. We just want to talk to you.
Yeah, either way, you need to find out just so you can, I don't know, be involved.
Be involved. Even if you don't own a home, if you are renting, this affects you directly, because guess what?
Your rents go up.
Your rent goes up. And with the increase in property insurance, that if you haven't already seen it, it's going to be happening because insurance companies are going to be making up that money from Harvey.
Stuff they lost.
Yeah. So rents are going up. So even if you rent, it's going to get passed along to you. So, but ultimately too, hopefully you'll be a homeowner one day, and to every homeowner out there, fight for lower property taxes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to not afford the home that you live in. You would have lived in it because you can't afford the taxes. But
So I guess, ridiculous question.
Ridiculous. It needs a theme song. So last week we announced that every week we're going to have a ridiculous question of the week. So we encourage you.
Send one in.
Yeah. Email it to info@thenationofrockwell.com or just message us any way you want to get a hold of us. You can ask away, but you have to ask it ahead of time because it is pre-selected and is quite important to
existence
stuff. So
Lorenzo
Zavala the third.
I as Siri every time I get a text from you. Lorenzo Zavala I. I get that. Yeah. It's funny.
That's hilarious.
I.
All right.
But
sorry, I lied and said I was going to read it. So, whatever happened between the relationship between Scotty and Dr. Evil. So, we've already heard from Scotty today a little bit and said
it
kind of fizzled out. Because, last time we heard from them, things were looking so great. They had really repaired their relationship.
Well, but remember Scott, he took over.
That's right. He lost all of his hair and stuff. So, yeah, that's sort of where we left off. But yes.
It's really in Dr. Evil's hands at this point because Scotty, he tried so much. Even though he was going through kind of his rebellious teenager phase, he was still there. And Dr. Evil kept going, shh.
Scott said he wasn't evil enough for him.
Okay, well.
You know, I agree. A lot has changed since
mellowed out
2001. 2001. When did we last hear from them?
97, 99, 2001, something like that. As I remember, because in 97, was it? Yeah, it was 90. Was it 97 or 90? No, 97. Austin. He went back to 1967.
2002.
Right? Okay, so 2002. So that's right, because he went back to 1972.
Yeah.
Was he jealous of Mini-Me? Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, he wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, Scott. Were you jealous of your dad's Mini-Me? Well, yeah. I mean, that cat looked like it was on the verge of death anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. And if watch it still be alive, but it's freaky and evil because most cats are.
It's 2002. It's probably dead.
You never know.
You never know.
Evil cat.
Cats.
No telling how many souls it sucked out of people.
Literally an evil cat.
Yeah. Eating people's faces.
So I can say that without offending all the cat lovers out there.
It was an evil cat. Literally.
Speaking of cat lovers, Bob, where's Cat? Just saying.
I thought she said she was jogging.
Oh, she was. She went for a jog.
In the cold.
In
the ice.
A yog. Okay, well, so
yogging.
I don't know if we'll ever know. Maybe we should say ridiculous yet attainable questions.
Nah, leave it open.
$1 million.
I would like $1 million.
All right. That's good. You know, I wonder if there's ever, I know that every now and then you hear talks about an Austin Powers 4. I would bet $1 million that within the next 10 years, as long as Mike Myers is still alive, we'll see an Austin Powers 4. Take that to the bank. Call me in 10 years, folks.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to happen. They can't produce anything new at all.
True.
So
Watch it be a
happen.
remake, not a new, not a 4. It'd be Austin Powers or an Austin Powers prequel. Well, they were talking about that a long time ago.
They sort of went into the prequel stuff in Goldmember, though, so maybe it was...
But no, they were talking about doing, like, a prequel, a full-on prequel. It just
like with
fizzled.
younger characters?
Yeah,
like
but it was after Goldmember. They were going to do one.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
Well, I don't know if it'd either be awful or... I don't think it would be good. Or, I mean, it'd be awful or okay at the best.
Mm-hmm.
Love Guru 2. Yeah, Love Guru 2. Did you see, Scott, did you see Love Guru? I just watched it like a year ago for the first time.
Did we think it was funny?
It was okay.
Did we think... See, that's a girl thing to say. Did we think it was funny?
I thought it was okay.
But a guy wouldn't say, did we think it was funny? A guy wouldn't say that. Only girls say that. Did we think it was funny?
I will tell you what you think. No, I thought it was okay. Big fan. I was gonna say I didn't think
it's okay.
I didn't think it was as bad as a lot of critics, but I typically don't agree with critics because they'll say something's really great and you go and watch it and you're like, I'm just. Nah.
Quentin's favorite movie, not his favorite movie, but one of the guilty pleasures I'll say is Joe Dirt.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious, man. That's funny.
Not Joe Dirt 2.
No, not Joe Dirt.
But Joe Dirt.
I haven't finished Joe Dirt 2, but I have Joe Dirt. I really do like. It's funny.
I give y'all 5 guesses as to Quentin's favorite movie, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll wait for them.
My favorite movie?
5 guesses for Quentin's favorite movie.
What is my? I don't even.
Like even our 9-year-old is laughing over there because your favorite movie. I'm not gonna tell you Dumb and Dumber, no, but he definitely appreciates that. Joe Dirt 2 is awful. Spinal Tap, that's a very good choice, but not his favorite. But that's probably up there. You don't like Spinal Tap?
No, I do. There's some wit and funniness to
Old
it.
school.
That's funny.
His favorite, like he'll crack up for days when the big guy has the rope tied to him and he falls off the building. He cracks up for
Every
days.
time.
Days. Not his favorite though. Should I just tell them? Should I just tell them?
You might want to tell me.
30 30 bang bang?
I don't even know.
Are you trying to say chitty chitty bang bang? Or is there a 30-30 bang bang that we don't know about?
Stupid Siri or whatever it is.
Quentin's Blazing Saddles.
I've never finished it. I fall asleep every time.
And I had Bob, watch your language. We had the opportunity to go see it over at the Alamo, but I took too long getting tickets and they sold out. And that was like the week that Gene Wilder died.
Yeah, it was like a memorial.
I was so upset. So anyway, no, Quentin's favorite movie is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Don't even say it's not your favorite movie. That's so your favorite movie. That's it.
I've never seen it though.
You got anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Guys, we're going to continue our talks about our negotiations with North Korea. No.
Peace in the Middle East. How to get it done. 3 easy steps.
All of January is buyer's month. It's all information that buyers need to know, which if you're ever planning on selling your home too, it's good to know because you need to know what buyers need to know, right? Yep. Trust me. But again, submit your ridiculous question of the week as well as your legitimate questions. We're always look forward to them. Lorenzo, we knew we could count on you for the first one. So, all right, everyone, stay safe out there.
Be aware of Armageddon, or the Ice-ageddon that is attacking Houston.
Awesome. We will see y'all next week. Aye, aye, aye.
Well, hey, let's go put the microphone up to some crunchy grass like the news people.
Yeah.